Men of Reddit, what's a myth about men that's 100% untrue, and it infuriates you whenever you hear it? I really hate how commercials pin us as completely incapable of taking care of children. If I'm with my daughter, I'm not babysitting, I'm being a father. That only creepy men enjoy being around children. We are not always craving sex. Sometimes we crave salt. If a man refuses sex, then he is no longer interested in his SO or finds her unappealing, or having a side chick. Some days are so stressful that we just want to hit the bed and sleep. That they don't need compliments. I hate it when I do it to my male friends and some other acquaintance will overhear and tease me for it. But when I do it to a female friend, nobody gives. I believe that guys deserve to be complimented sincerely once in a while, like everybody else. Masturbation means we're sexually unsatisfied. Does having dessert mean that I hated dinner? We actually love the attention, just as much as women do. And cuddling too. That we are emotionless. Sometimes it is not the right situation to show how you are feeling. Just because I'm not showing it doesn't mean I'm not feeling it. I hate when I out with my kids people jokingly say, "Are you on daddy duty?" I've never heard someone ask a mom if she's on mommy duty. It's assumed that men don't take their kids places and it really annoys me because I work full time, but I also get my kids ready in the morning, cook them breakfast, prepare their lunches, eat lunch with them at school once per week, bring them to most doctor and dentist appointments. I have personally never talked to a guy friend about how their girlfriends are in bed, or really anything about their sex lives. Follow up, I have reviewed the comments, thank you for your replies. If there is one thing I can stress to the people who do desire to engage in sex gossip, make sure you secure permission from your significant other first, and that applies to all genders. You may be unwittingly hurting your partner's feelings. Men love it when women drop hints instead of being blunt. No, that's confusing. I wouldn't call it a myth, but when a guy is helpful around the house and just courteous in general, sometimes a woman will say, "Your wife/girlfriend has trained you well." No, we managed to become decent human beings without a woman's help, you very much. We don't cook or do housework. That I come home from a hard day of work and cook my family dinner every night. As a father of 5, 3 bio, 2 foster children, the automatic suspicion that surrounds me whenever I'm alone in public with my children is infuriating. One of our foster girls is black, I'm white, and I've heard people outright follow me in public when I've taken her shopping for someone on one time. If you see a man with a child in public and you start with the assumption that he's a perv, that's sexism. Edit. Wow, this was a lot to come back to after dinner. I changed my last sentence to be less harsh and more in line with my actual thoughts. There are several comments that essentially say it's better to start with a perv assumption and be wrong than to be naive and put a child at risk. I strongly disagree and believe this is faulty, emotion-based reasoning. Child abuse is wrong. Sexism and profiling are wrong. Excusing one to stop the other doesn't make it right. That if we turn down sex/unwanted sexual advances there's something wrong with us, or that we should enjoy/be grateful every time we get approached. No, I don't like the fact that stranger just grabbed my ass and tried to stick her tongue down my throat. What the is wrong with you? That we can control our boners. Had a friend who thought that it was weird that someone could look at a woman and activate his dick. We can't control them, it's a reflex. That we need soap, shampoo, and conditioner all in one because we don't know how to wash our correctly. Edit. What I gathered from the comments is that most people who use all-in-one products tend to view showering as a chore rather than self-care. That men don't have self-image issues. You only get to hear about body positivity when it's about women's bodies. How men are on commercials. How we can't do laundry, cook, raise kids, or anything without our wives coming to show us how. Look, holes, I'm single and I do all my own cleaning, laundry, dishes, etc. I have never stared at a mop like it was a plasma death ray, nor have I ever had to rush out to buy dinner because I burned mine. Well, a few times when drunk, but that's not the same thing. I also am capable of taking care of a baby without having to call a woman to give me directions. I don't have kids, but I have younger cousins and whatnot. I can change a diaper and bottle feed just fine. Edit. RIP my inbox. Lord, this blew up 7,000 upvotes and over 100 responses. Looks like I'm not alone. Apparently gender roles only exist when it comes to fixing something. I don't know why my wife continues to think that because I was born with a penis, I know how to refinish a deck, or repair our dryer, or put new lighting up in our kitchen. I sometimes hear girls say men are simple-minded and don't get women's complexities. This is usually alluding to men asking girls to be straightforward and tell us what you need of us. Yeah, I know what I did give her about my wedding day. I cannot believe the amount of people, mostly ladies, who just straight up assumed all you have to remember is where to be and to say I do right. Ho ho ho. Kin annoying. I had ideas of how I wanted it to look and how I wanted it to go as well. But my goodness, not a single person thought I gave her, even though I constantly was trying to give my take on stuff. It was always met with, oh you don't need to worry about that, or oh the ladies will figure that out. Like, this is infuriating. That men can't be raped or assaulted, primarily from the stereotype that we are bigger/stronger than women or always want to. I want to punch anyone that spouts that ignorant bull. Just because I have a dick or am bigger than a woman doesn't mean she can't spike my drink, get me intoxicated with alcohol/drugs, or otherwise force herself on me against my consent. Stop dismissing rape and assault based on gender. Holes. That we must be swift as the coursing river, have the force of a great typhoon, possess the strength of a raging fire, and be as mysterious as the dark side of the moon. That we can't be raped. I have been twice, although I put myself in the position by getting wasted. I did not want to have sex. I was told if I had a boner then I wanted it. I understand it isn't my fault I was raped, but I did put myself in a position I shouldn't have put myself in. That they are somehow completely incapable of hating their bodies. Whatever they look like, they must be completely happy with themselves. Unrealistic bodily expectations aren't limited to women. Edit. I wasn't expecting this comment to gain so much traction. I'm so sorry so many of you are hurting and suffering like this too. Please, remember that you're still amazing, and you can take care of yourself, and be healthy still. Love yourselves, y'all. I king love Bath and Body Works. I love Mojitos, Margs, and other fruity cocktails. I will always buy pads/tampons when asked. I cry sometimes. I can point out/notice a good looking guy as a straight guy. This is the one that gets me the most. Sometimes I feel like I can't compliment a new haircut or whatever. I hate the no homo thing. A compliment isn't gay unless you make it gay. The dudes talk about sex. Let me get this clear. We do not. And if we do sometimes, it's nothing, and I mean nothing, compared to what girls talk about on a regular basis. Nothing. I like cute things, and it does not emasculate me to talk about them. I baby talk at my dogs, don't king act like you don't. I like pointless and in garbage what's sole purpose is to tickle the cute sensors in your brain, and I like seeing girls wear cute clothes regardless of whether or not I want to see those clothes come off. Now, I said it doesn't emasculate me to enjoy these things, but I still can't do it out loud because everyone else is such an insecure that I'll get harassed until the cows come home and leave and come back again. That men can't be victims of abuse or domestic violence from women. Yeah, we can, and statistically, if we report it, there's a solid chance that we'll be the ones going to jail for it, even if all we did was take it and not fight back. Screw that. Edit. Holy crap, gold for getting angry at a past experience. My brothers who have dealt with this, I'm sorry. I wish I had advice for dealing with it, but I unfortunately don't. To all others, FBI says at least 40% of domestic violence happens to men. We need to destigmatize this and make punishment just as severe for women who perpetrate abuse as it is for men. A woman can hit a man, but a man can't hit a woman. Neither is allowed to hit the other, and if you do either way, make sure to accept any retaliation. That we are inherently violent. I'm hard pressed to find anyone violent. In 2019, with the exception of public freakouts, people in general seem to avoid conflicts at all cost. Men only talk to women because they want something from them. This happened to me a lot in middle school and the beginning of high school because I had a lot of female friends. I'm not girl crazy, it's just not hard for me to make friends with both guys and girls. That men are completely incompetent in the kitchen, doing laundry, other household chores. This is a stereotype perpetuated largely by network sitcoms. The fact that I have to keep all my negative emotions locked away because men are too manly to have bad feelings. It's probably really bad for my mental health having to suffer in silence, feeling that there's nobody to talk to. We are not all ravenous sex machines. I barely think about sex at all. If you catch me staring, I'm not looking at you. Believe me, I'm looking through you. Men are only interested in one thing, sex. Oh really? Is that why I'm reading a book, playing a game, getting dinner? Is that why I stopped talking to that girl after she went on and on about her reality shows being real? Two guys being close friends does not imply secret gay love. I'm looking at you. King fanfic writers who seem to think men showing any kind of affection for each other means they want to do each other other. Women, men need to be more open about their feelings. Men, shows genuine friendship and affection with a male friend. Women, LMAO you are gay. That men can't cook. It's largely a US based stereotype, probably because of TV/movies, that hit me off, because in my household, I've exclusively cooked meals for the last 7 years. Even when people hear that I'm actually the one that cooks, they get all giddy. Oh, your wife is so lucky. It really isn't that big of a deal. Goddamn. I hate the dirty looks I get from mothers when I take my child to the playground. For some reason I'm considered a pervert first before a responsible parent. Yes, I'm staring at the play equipment covered in kids. No, I'm not getting my rocks off look at said kids. I'm supervising my own son playing with random group of kids. It's like mum are allowed to have this unkept, rundown, tired as look and be considered a hard-working mum. Put her unkept dad, rundown, tired as looking, and I'm a king child rapist. Gives me the and now I have reservations about taking my kid to the park. In saying that, any scruffy looking man I see around a playground I go on high alert. That a guy wants to all his female friends, and any guy who says he doesn't is lying. And it's always a myth perpetrated by some guy who wants to all of his female friends. So just say that, hole. Don't drag the rest of us into your friend king fantasies. That suffix on any sentence is pretty much a red flag that the guy you're talking to is a king creep. We hate rom-coms because it makes us cringe and stuff, or that we're just grumpy or whatever people assume. No, Karen, we don't hate them for that reason. We hate them because they put unrealistic expectations on men. In all those movies they sacrifice jobs, college ECT for a woman. We won't sacrifice a successful life so I can be at your ever beck and call. That men can't be on the receiving end of domestic violence. Especially if their argument for saying so is something along the lines of men are bigger and stronger than women. The man wouldn't lose. Something I've heard said on the topic way too much, including from my own mother. Thinking that is sexist in both directions. I mean, at the very least, I'm pretty sure a pistol doesn't care if it was fired by a bodybuilder or an infant. The same goes for psychological abuse, which gets into something very closely related. Society telling guys to man up about something or someone harming them is a major part of why so many can't get help when they need it.